Hey, what's happening? You're live with the Toe Bugs. We got Nate from Cecil Boot Company, Angel Rios, Nathan Lundy, and Steve Lawton. How's it going, guys?
Great, you?
Good.
Doing good. May have Lucas join us later. He's tied up at the moment, but he said he might pop in later if he can get away.
What was the last boots you guys wore? Sorry.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
today I had the Tecovas ostrich on, and I actually got those on. They were like new used, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I've heard a lot of things about the quality. They sit on your foot well. They're comfortable. The uppers are very slick, and they feel good. So I'll throw those on occasionally.
Yeah. What about you, Angel?
Jesus #1s for today.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm really loving them with those Soul Savers, man. That's the first pair of cowboy boots I've ever had with Soul Savers. And I'm just like, it's even better than the Rios and Mercedes Ropers in my opinion.
That's it. That's what you're going from now on.
If I'm gonna wear a pair of cowboy boots, if I'm not wearing my Knicks, which I did a lot of on the road trip. Yeah, these I'm loving them. I'm really loving them.
Nathan, what'd you wear today?
I got my let's see if I'm gonna slide it off here. Got my blackjack my beater gators.
Did you say beater gators?
What kind of person has a pair of blackjack beaters? That's what I want to know. I wish I could afford
Somebody
some
with
blackjack.
about 1,000 pairs of boots.
October 09 is when I had these boots made. So they've been around for a few days. They're great, man. I love them.
What about you, Steve?
I'm going to be honest with you. I did not wear boots today.
Uh-oh.
Pictures of them.
But what was the last pair you wore?
Well, I just posted pictures of them on the forum. It was those hard duty Raiders, full hornback.
And those things are amazing.
I'm
Well, I guess that leaves me. I'm wearing my Ruho Roscoe Caymans. I love these things. These are super comfortable.
Look really nice.
Yeah, those are nice, man.
Yeah, I like them. It's one of those, they just fit me perfect, Like you'll have a lot of boots that fit pretty well, and then you have one that just fits like a glove,
Yeah, those are my JB Hills. Those are, just perfect.
Yeah. So Mr. BHB Jr. wants to know if anybody knows if El Dorado boots run true to size. I have no idea.
So it depends because El Dorado used to be handmade in the US and they were very good quality boots. I have some El Dorado Hippo that are in a 9.5. So I wear a 9.5 vintage in potentially Tony Lama, and I could get on the 9.5 El Dorado vintage. But the newer ones that came out after that, they were made in Mexico. I don't have a good size estimate for you. I can speak to vintage USA made El Dorado, and man, they have a sweet little dip right at the end of the vamp and the counter, the beginning of the counter, that kind of makes a little swoop on the side. So they've got a really cool little vamp feature on those vintage El Dorados. They're really pretty.
I tried on some newer El Dorados down here at the boot barn, and they seemed like they were pretty true to size. It seemed like pretty true.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Mr. BHB Jr.
El Dorado made some awesome vintage boots.
Oh yeah.
They were.
Yeah, I'll tell you some of my favorite. Some of my favorite vintages. The guys that kind of innovated right around there towards the late 80s, 90s time frame. T.O. Stanley, the handmade El Dorados that had the swoop in them. That kind of made those. Took the traditional vamp and tongue and counter and made a little bit of an art piece out of it. Yeah, that's That's a quality vintage boot.
Hey, Steve, I was just noticing, man, it looks like you got your ears lowered.
I did. Man, I don't look like Grizzly Adams anymore. Got a haircut and a beard trim today.
You clean up pretty good, man.
My wife told me it's that or get the hell out.
I've been on only 2 live, the last one in this live stream, and I had no idea who this gentleman was who was signing in with us here. So I was a little confused.
Didn't even recognize him. Oh, well, Nate,
Could be a good thing.
I know you said you had put together a little presentation. You found some photos on shopgoodwill.com.
So, I know we poke a lot of fun at some of the photos, but within 5 minutes, I was able to kind of take a little tour. I wanted to take those who haven't been on there and may decide to try their luck on the site to give them a little play-by-play of some of the things that you're going to encounter. I have found some literal works of art on this site when it comes to photos. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. You guys see that all right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I call this art piece, this is called The Disappointment, or Reading is Hard. You can see here, these are labeled as a men's Farini boot, 13.5.
That's an 8 double E. Yep.
Yeah, there is no 13.5 anywhere on the inside of the boot at all. So I was interested to see that piece right there.
And like Angel mentioned, I mean, normally you don't even see a 13.5.
Right.
Over a 12 is just whole sizes normally.
Exactly. And if you think that is big, you have yet to see the giant of Orange County. So this is Goodwill, Orange County, size 43, which would be approximately the size of a human being. Pretty sure that there's some kind of mislabeling going on there. But
is that a metric sizing?
Yeah, European sizing.
Yes, but there's no photos of the inside to be able to kind of determine what's going on there.
Yeah.
So it's really
I
possible.
think my metric sizing is like a 40 something. So
yeah,
that might be what that is.
It could be. Yeah, the Mexico sizing is also a little weird. You got a 28 that equals about a 9. Things like that. But usually they're labeled a little bit different on the inside.
That brings up an interesting point, Nate. If I could just piggyback off that.
Sure.
One thing that I learned about Mexican sizing as well is it varies from manufacturer to manufacturer. So, and I know this because I've talked to 2 of them, and one of them had a 28.5 as an 11.
Yeah.
And the other guy had a 29.5 as an 11. And so the one person I talked to, he never orders in American sizes from his maker. So he won't ever say, hey, I need you to make me a 9.5. He orders it in the Mexican size that he knows is what he uses for a 9.5. So if you are out there and you ever see boots with Mexican sizing, that tells me that you can't always just say I wear a 28.5 in Mexican size boots. It may vary a little bit from maker to maker.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's a 29? Does it go from 28 to 28.5 or 28 to 29?
Yeah, it does, but that's kind of where the discrepancy is some makers don't make half sizes and some do. And so some will consider a 28.5, 10.5, and some people will consider it an 11.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the maker because Mexican sizes are in centimeters. So you have a 29 that would be equivalent to a 10.5, but it depends on who makes it, what last they used.
Right.
So it's kind of a funky thing, but a 28 should be a 9.5, right? That's what I usually look for.
Yeah, but 29. See, I wear an 11 and I have 3 pairs here that I have a 28.5, a 29, and a 30.
Okay.
Now that, but we know that happens in American sizes too, based, from manufacturer to manufacturer or whatever, and the last they're using. And hell, sometimes, you know, a round toe and a square toe from the same manufacturer fit totally different. You know, that happens. So
That's a good point, Nick. Because I can tell you right now, having had custom boots made, that I typically get like a little bit of a snip toe, but it's like an inch and a half, inch and a quarter wide. And so that was my standard toe, like with Letty's that I did. And when I wanted to go with a round toe, they had to completely remeasure me. They would not just take everything they already had and make a boot with a round toe.
Yeah, I mean, I can wear a 9D in a square toe just because it, you know, it widens the overall width of the boot. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, well, I didn't mean to cut you off, Nate. If you've got more photos to show, please continue.
Oh, no. I mean, if you guys, whatever way we want to take this is fine with me.
Just keep going. I just heard that and I wanted to.
Description of where he's going with that.
Action shot.
Yeah. These are the action shots right here. I mean, this is what I like to call the good enough or the dirty sock. I've always kind of wanted to see a picture of what my boot looks like when I kick it off at the end of the day and it's halfway under my bed. So, you know, that's kind of a good shot right there. You can see professional photography at work. This is the Bigfoot, because you know that camera they take photos of Bigfoot with where everything just comes in kind of blurry. That's what we've got here. They're using that same camera, so I don't hold it against them. Right here, this is the UFO camera right here that they take photos of the unidentified flying objects.
Yeah, I can see like the shape of it, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, yeah. So this one right here was the wildlife photographer. For some reason, you need to be 10 feet away from the boot the entire time that you're taking the picture.
Those don't look half bad either, you know.
They don't, but it's kind of hard to tell because they're about 15 feet away using a zoom.
You want to see inside of in between those tiles, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's
And I had a pretty decent one on here. This was one of my favorites. I call that La Chancla right there, if you know what that means. I thought it was pretty special that the toe width on these from where your little thumb is.
La Chancla, that means Lundy in Spanish, right?
So
actually, these have the best photos. I got to give it to them.
Yeah.
They really want to
get rid of these for some reason. I'm not entirely sure. So anyway, that was just about 5-10 minutes there on the old Shop Goodwill. You know, it's a fun place. You can get some good deals, but buyer beware.
It's not like it used to be, but you can get some unicorn boots there.
Yep.
So on the Shop Goodwill, are you able to ask questions on the products same as you can on eBay?
Yeah, you're welcome to be ignored on any question that you'd like to ask by the good people that work at Goodwill. You can ask as many questions as you want.
Yeah.
I like to set a record for how many questions I can ask that they can ignore. But yes, you are able to.
Okay.
You are permitted.
You got to remember, Goodwill is probably listing 10,000 items a day or more. Their volume, I mean, they're just trying to get money, any money they can. That's why everything starts out priced so low. Yeah.
Well, yes. I mean, for me, it takes me for one weekend. I'm lucky if I could do 10 pair, right? It's just kind of a difference in the number of photos, the quality of the listing, the amount of description, the amount of work that goes into each pair. I think, Nick, you had a story about some sharks that you had purchased.
Yeah. So I got all excited this weekend. I've been listening to Lucas White talk about this guy he buys Hondos from all the time. And so I got on there, and he happened to have 3 pairs that I was interested in, and I bought them all. It was 2 pairs of Sharks, and then 1 pair of it's called retan leather. It's tanned twice, 2 different ways. Jeremiah Craig did a video on them, but it's almost like a work boot type thing with a Vibram sole. So I was all excited, and I get them today, and I immediately knew something was up, because the 3 boxes, I kid you not, it took me 30 minutes to get into these things, because he had taped all the boxes together, and used at least 3 rolls of tape, man. I mean, and I'm going through it trying to cut them open. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I'm going to show you what I was dealing with here. So let's see if I can share screen. I'm going to share that. Okay, can y'all see that? So
Yeah, it looks water damaged.
A little bit of water damage on that box. That's not where I want to go. Shit, it's not letting me go back, is it? All right, let me try this again. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Please stand by.
So then I got to looking. This is the boots that came in the water damage box, and that looked like a little scuff or something there, which that wasn't that big of a deal. I was like, I've got cognac polish. I could hit that real quick. But then I got to looking, and you can see the looks like water stains there on it.
Yeah.
And then if you look on the toe bug, there's stitching missing up there.
Oh, right there.
Yeah. Then I go to the next one, and it's got more little water stains on it. And I was just like, what the hell, So then I opened up the other pairs. This is the other pair of Sharks. It's got a big old deep gouge in it, which was really disappointing, because this was the pair I wanted the most. It was a really good looking pair of boots. And then, well, there was one other one. I don't know where that photo went. Here.
Yeah, it's kind of odd, because that first one.
And then this one, you can see it's got the stitching messed up on the toe bug as well. And I was like, man, just a disappointing afternoon, to be honest with you. And of course, the photos didn't show any of that stuff on eBay.
That first pair, when you went into the vamp, it almost, I mean, maybe it was just the angle. It didn't look like Shark.
It's Shark for sure. I'm looking at the picture. I see what you're saying, but it was definitely Shark.
Okay.
That's too bad. They should have labeled them as seconds or something.
Yeah, and I mean, so they're new old stock. I contacted Phil from Hondo, and he told me, because we had a couple of questions about some things that were different than the pair that I have here that are current model. And he said that those were at least 4 years old, probably older than that. And they, the boxes were different and everything.
It kind of reminds me the first time that I bought Cowtowns. I mean, I wear a pair of Cowtown Rattlesnake. They're decent price. They hold up well. The first time I bought them, I brought them home and slipped one on, and it felt great. Slipped the other one halfway on, and I couldn't get it on my foot. And I took them off, and one was a 1/2 inch shorter in the toe than the other one.
Wow.
So I ended up sending them back, and when I sent them back, I said, hey, I'd really like a pair of nice Eastern Diamondback, and they sent me the right skin, the right size, right width, and I wear them to this day. But occasionally in the process, you get these ones that just come together in an off way.
Yeah. And if you get them new from a store, the manufacturer, it's never an issue. 99% of the time they're going to take care of you if something's off. When it's eBay, luckily I contacted the guy, And I still think he's shady because, you know, he showed that box and put it at an angle where it looked pristine, you know. And
yeah.
but when I contacted him, I said, man, these are all screwed up. You know, he was like, okay, well, sorry about that. I apologize. And I'll, you know, he refunded my money. So, you know, at least there's that, but still, you know, and I don't know, you know, now I'm wondering, are they, not only are they new old stock, but are they seconds? You know, I mean, it's weird to get me to order 3 size 11s and every one of them come with some pretty blatant issues, you know, but who knows?
That's what I'm thinking.
Hey, there's CJ Cook stopping in. What's going on, man?
Hey, CJ, what's up? Yeah, I've bought a number of boots on eBay, and I've never had an issue. And I've bought 2 pairs that were seconds, factory seconds, labeled as it.
Yeah.
And you know, you look for it when it shows up, you're like, all right, what do we got? And the most I've ever seen was like one, like your toe bug there was missing a few threads.
Yeah.
I've seen like 2 segments of thread missing on like a cap toe boot. And that's it. You know, I've received other pairs of seconds where I couldn't even tell what was off, you know?
Yeah.
So
well, and you know, the thing with
been,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I haven't been unfair. I haven't been lucky, you know, unfortunate with boots on eBay. I have received no item. Like I bought a button-up shirt and it never showed up, and I contacted eBay. They kind of helped follow through with it, and you know, they gave me my money back, but it was like a $15 shirt. So
well, and you know, the thing with these is, for the price I paid, it still wasn't a bad price for a second, you know, with those type issues that weren't the worst things in the world, but it wasn't disclosed to me and I wouldn't have bought them had it been, you know. But if he'd have labeled them as seconds and somebody bought them for that price, they probably would have been okay with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, that's the thing I like about the way that they used to do seconds, is that everything would be stamped imperfect.
Right.
So you, on the inside, you'd have the imperfect stamp, and you'd be able to kind of tell, hey, listen, there's some kind of either, whether it's a hide issue, maybe a nick taken out of it, or an off stitch, things weren't lined up properly.
Yeah.
You know, everything came out of the factory with that imperfect stamp.
There's also brands that are, you know, well respected, made in US brands, actually, like Westco boots. And you know, they're Pacific Northwest. They make like engineer boots, and they actually have a little, like a clearance section on their website. And they have, the good thing though is that they have it listed with photos explaining in detail what, you know, what's wrong with it, why it ended up as a second. And so you're able to determine, you know, you're able to use your own judgment, you know, and kind of be like, well, I see how the stitching is off, but I'm okay with that, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's other brands where it's just stamped second, or sometimes like Red Wing, they punch a little hole in the tongue and that's it. And then they don't do any detail. They, you know, it'll show up and it's missing an eyelet or something. So
you got there, Steve?
Can y'all see that okay?
I can see it a little bit.
It's a little overexposed. Is that a pair of snakeskin?
Yeah. How do I not make it overexposed?
I think if you bring it closer to the screen, your camera will adjust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
There.
Python.
Got those today, $150 on Facebook.
Nice.
Size 14.
Oh, yeah, the 14s come at a premium because that's rare.
Yeah, this girl that's selling them is selling her dad's collection. I guess I don't know why for sure. I didn't go, hey, did your dad die? But
yeah, but the next message right there is, so what else you got?
Yeah, exactly.
well, I'm going to show you. How about these?
Oh, yeah.
That's a Natty Gator.
I
Like
believe
a
it's
chocolate.
alligator tail, yeah.
Yeah, natty gator.
Tail.
Well, I can't tell if it's natty or if it's just like a brown and there's maybe a smudge
Oh,
in
it's
the.
brown. It's brown.
Okay.
Let me hold it up closer.
There you go. I see it.
Nice, nice. J-toes.
150
That looks good, Steve.
Yeah.
bonus. Then let's see. I wanted to show
Where
you.
are these photos from? Are these your photos or?
No, that's right off the listing.
Oh, okay. eBay?
No, Facebook.
Oh,
Marketplace.
Facebook. Man, that's one place I haven't spent much time on. I should probably.
If you're in an area that's local to having good boots, Facebook and OfferUp are gold.
How about rattlesnake?
Ooh, Western Diamondback rattlesnake.
Oh, I like the
Oh,
toes on
Oh,
those.
Steve
Yeah.
hit the jackpot.
Those look comfy.
I'll tell you one place that's
Well,
not good to
doubt
find
I
boots.
doubt he's listening in, but Bryant Brewer is who sent me the listing, and it was just for one pair. The girl listed more boots later on in the day. So this was the first pair I got today. Come on,
What's up, Lucas?
stop.
Miss you, man. You got to come join us. Ooh,
Nice cream gator tail.
looks like
No,
albino
it's
gator.
Tan.
Yeah. Albino caiman.
No, it's a tan color.
Okay.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks
So,
clean too at the
We're
tips.
talking about buying used boots. You know, my whole point was it is possible, and it's got tons more pictures on each pair. It is possible to buy good used boots. And in particular, when somebody possibly passes on and they got a relative that's gonna sell off your stuff, then sometimes you have a chance to hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of these boots are boots that I would traditionally have bought, you know, in that I typically go with at least like a blackjack grade boot or better. But all of these are vintage Nakonas, all of them 2-row lemonwood pegged boots. Back when Nakona was making a solid boot. I'm not saying they don't today, but these are all boots that were made in probably the 90s.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, the new Nakonas are basically made in kind of a standard factory where, you know, it's the new Justins and everything else are. It's really just a brand name at this point. I completely agree with you. The vintage Nakonas, to me, are some of the best boots ever made. Enid Justin, you know, I mean, you're talking about one of the earliest figures in boot history for America, you know, as a woman owning the company, adding comfort and style together. I mean, I have a signed copy of her autobiography. Yeah. It's really interesting to see how she transformed the boot industry, you know, from the early years in the 1950s and 60s.
Did y'all know that Enid's husband also, after they got divorced, started a boot company? You know which one that one is? Olson Stiltzer.
No way.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Olson Stiltzer.
Huh.
Those are good boots, man.
Yeah.
I mean, those are like the top of the line premier boots.
I mean, all of those boots were probably retailed $700 to $1,000 when they were brand new and sold in a store.
Well, it's a lot of these names you don't really hear anymore. Olathe, Haier, Olson Stelzer, you know, a lot of the Midwest makers that created, I mean, just handmade masterpieces that people, you know, there's just not a lot of information available online, right? You go online, you can find your Lucchese, you can find your Blackjack, you know you're getting quality. But for these traditional vintage American boots, it's one of those things that if you can dig just right through the surface and have a little bit of history on them, they were some of the best handcrafted American pieces that were ever made.
I know Olay's now is owned by Rios. Does anybody know anything about them currently? You know, like where they fall in the lineup?
Yeah,
as far as, are they as nice as Rios and Mercedes, or are they along the lines of Anderson Bean type thing? I don't know. I haven't even seen any.
Yeah,
I've got a couple newer pairs of Rios. One of their big retailers is Pinot Ranch, and also not Pinot Ranch, but also Kemosabe. Kemosabe, if y'all have never checked them out, they have some incredible boot sales when you catch them at the right time. You can pick up Lucchese Classics for elephant for like $200 to $300 a pair.
Wow.
I mean, right now you can go on the website and they'll have boots that were normally $2,000 for $1,000, brand new in the box. And they are the one place that I'm able to buy 13.5D Lucchese's.
Oh, wow.
Well, as long as they don't say 8 double E in them.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Size 40.
There you go.
Size 42.
Never have done well in trying to convert to what is a European size 14? Is that a 78 or
Probably pretty close. Well, Angel, why don't you tell us a little bit about your honeymoon, man? Everybody missed you.
Wasabi Swagger has even better deals, CJ Cook just said. My honeymoon was incredible. It was awesome. No, I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of untraveled roads before that. We are very, next time we're going to take that route again. Maybe next year. We'll see. But it was a lot of road that I would not mind traveling again. Just the views, and you get a lot of that in the Southwest, and, I don't know what you call Utah, Midwest, but just incredible views, incredible sunsets, incredible sunrises. We had a lot of great weather. It was a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. Wish we would have seen more animals.
How many pairs of boots did you bring with you?
I only brought 3. I took a picture with 4 boots, but I was undecided on 2 of them. I knew I was going to bring my Knicks because my Knicks are the hardy, do anything boot. If I got stuck in mud, I can just run in through it and not have a second thought about ruining them. And then my Chizos. So I brought 2 pairs of Knicks and my pair of Chizos, and I brought 1 pair of Mandals. I always bring a pair of Mandals just in case, because I always wear something on my feet when I get in the water, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be wading in water, so I brought those. And they were actually my nighttime shoes, so I kept them in the tent with me at night. But it was a lot of fun, man. And I got videos. I'm going to make a YouTube video about the whole trip. It might even be more than one video because there's just so much footage. And so,
well, I'll tell you, I mean, when I travel for work, my wife, sometimes she'll, give me a little bit of crap because I usually have at least one duffel bag, my NFR, my National Rodeo duffel bag that has a pair of boots in it. And then I got the suitcase that has a pair of boots in it, and I got a pair of boots on. And she says, I don't understand why you're going away for 3 days. I said, well, listen, right, I've got a brown suit, right? So I need my brown gaiters, and I've got a black suit, and I need my black elephants. Okay. And then I have the gray, which is going to be my gray customs. So listen, there, we got to have a little bit of trade space in here.
Yeah, it's crazy how we bring up these scenarios where I need a pair for this, I need a pair for that, I need a pair for this, and just in case this other pair.
Right. He should have been like, well, I'm gone for 3 days. I probably need 6 pairs, but I'm only taking 3.
Yeah, the
I'm
boots.
being judicious right now. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew the boots were going to take a lot of room up, so that's why I kept it to 3. We had we had room to spare. It's just we knew that was going to go in the cab of the truck with us in the back seat area. So, like I said, I tried to, and it worked out well because I wore these Chizos and they didn't skip a beat. That Soul Saver, man, I was hopping up and down the truck, deploying this rooftop tent. And these rooftop tents, they're meant to go on like your roof rack or like over the top the roof of your vehicle. Well, I have a lumber rack which puts that at 9 feet off the ground. So I'm literally climbing like all the way around the truck just to get this thing open and closed every morning and night. So that's why I said the Chizos did not skip a beat because they had tons of grip. Now, if I had leather boots, they probably never would have gone on my feet. If leather soles, probably would have never gone on my feet on this trip. So.
Yeah, you're talking about
try
that.
some Soul Savers one day. I don't know. Guess I'm just kind of a purist and like the leather, but I don't know. Part of the thing is I don't wear out soles hardly ever. I don't know if I just don't drag my feet or what, but I
love the look of leather soles. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I love the look of just natural leather just coming out the bottom. I love the undyed. Most of my boots are undyed, just natural leather soles.
Yeah.
On the edges. So I like that on the bottom too. But the Soul Saver, man.
Nathan likes Soul Savers. I know that.
Yeah, I have one on all my boots, and they're just a must for me because I may wear a pair of boots, for every day for 30 or 40 days or whatever, So it saves from wearing them out, but also like he said, Angel talked about slipping out of the back of the truck or whatever the case may be. There's plenty of grip there. Never had that problem.
Who let Lucas in here?
Oh man, I saw the arrow. I
found
him.
And I stalled him as long as I could.
What's up, boys?
What's up, man?
Hanging on the garage?
Yeah, I literally just pulled back in. I've got a big tournament this weekend, so I've been out practicing late when the girls go down. So
yeah.
How's the weather up in Michigan right now?
Like mid 54, 55 and rainy.
That's bizarre. I'm in Maryland and we were at 87 and humid.
Yeah. Hey.
That sounds like Pennsylvania weather right about now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were about 85 today.
Yeah.
And rain. Humid as hell.
This past week we've had a lot just way cooler surprisingly cool weather. Today was like 70s and lots of wind, so it was really nice. Usually we're in the 80s at this time, at least. Might even kick off the fire pit one of these nights.
Lucas, I had to. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I'm thinking about taking my oldest one out this weekend there's a spot down here, down the street, like 15 minutes away, BLM land with some camping spots. I might check that out this weekend. Get the fire pit going.
Yeah, Nathan Lucas was walking me through my whole purchase fiasco today.
Oh boy!
And I sent him a picture of all those boxes taped together, and I was like, God, what is this freaking guy doing, man? And I was getting pissed off. And
so is that the same guy that you bought Hondos from, Lucas?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first thing Lucas said was, hey, you remember when you were talking about how you freak out over small stuff? I go, yeah. And he goes, well, I just pray to God you're recording this. I said, no, I'm a dumbass. I didn't record it, but that would have been hilarious.
That's like
he had to use 3 rolls of tape on that shit, man.
You need to record all your unboxings.
I need to set up a camera in here recording all day long because I spend all day in this room and just roll tape all day long because the stuff I get upset about is hilarious.
Yeah, I have seen a seller on eBay selling Hondos. I wonder if it's the same person. They look like a lot of the stuff that I would, be interested in. I just obviously I haven't bought from that person.
It could be. He's got a lot. He listed a lot today, Lucas.
He's in El Paso. His name's Ray, and I can't remember what his last name is. But yeah, I'm pretty disappointed. I feel kind of bad, but yet I don't. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, the 2 pairs I've gotten from him were just absolutely perfect, and I've got another one that's supposed to show up Friday or Saturday. So.
And you're a 10.5, right, Lucas?
Yeah.
Well, I got a pair that I was showing earlier that I think are perfect. They're just about perfect for you. If you wanted to check them out, 10.5D, you got plenty of room for your toes.
Yeah, that looks like a 10.5 with about a 3.5 worth of toe.
So what happened is Lucas got top shelf and Nick got the bottom shelf.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Hey, it's
easy.
That return customer favoritism. I hate that shit.
Now he may have gone 0-3, but if I may go 3-0, we'll find out Friday. So.
That's right.
And if that's the case, then hey, the guy's 50%. Hey.
Oh shit! Yeah.
The farmer's tan is still there. I only did like 2 days without a shirt.
Not to mention, I got another pair coming too. I found an old. It's got to be. I'm thinking it's like 80s. It's a Red Wing Pecos, but it's a bull hide. It's an actual like cowboy boot style, not like the newer Pecos.
So did you guys?
Hopefully,
have
those
you
work out
guys?
good.
I didn't read your or I didn't listen to the last episode, but did you guys talk about the new Tacovas and Shark?
No, we did not.
What do you guys think about it? I think it looks interesting.
I think they look cool. I mean, I think they look real cool, honestly.
You have double row stitching on this one, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
A little bit taller shaft. It's,
Yeah.
almost kind of a buckaroo style. It's got a taller heel.
Yes. Yeah.
Not quite a buckaroo, but it kind of going for that look.
Yeah, I'm going to
Everything but
pass.
the heel. What was that, Lucas?
I said I'll probably pass. I'm 0-2 with Tacovas, so just that's what I was.
I don't know that I'll buy any, but I like the looks of them.
Yeah, and obviously you can't really tell anything other than that one single photo.
Well, actually, I got their brochure in the mail. Where did that thing go?
Yeah, I've got it here too.
Over here somewhere.
Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing it. I haven't seen a picture of them yet.
Okay. They're I think they're multicolored. I think the shaft is like a calf skin. There you go. The Prescott. I think they have 2 colors in that too.
That one's bison right there. And then you've got Shark and
Those kind of look like the Hondos that
and then the
Lucas was rocking.
okay, you can see right here that it's a round toe with double row stitching.
Yeah.
Is that the new Shark?
Yeah. Well,
That's
that one's
good looking
bison, but it's that style.
I prefer the two-tone to be lighter in the foot and darker in the upper, but I don't mind a buckaroo pull. And a lot of times they make those wider at the top.
Yeah. And then the cowhide one's just same color. Yeah.
Bovine. I thought bovine was like.
I think it's a good looking boot. Like I said, I probably won't buy it, but
yeah.
Bovine's
Go ahead.
huh?
I was going to say, I said I would never thought I would own a Tecovas. I found one for pretty cheap. I would have never gone out of my way to buy one just because of the things that I've heard about how they're built and all of that. But honestly, I probably wear it once every 2 weeks and they feel pretty good.
Yeah. I don't think they're bad boots. I think they're a decent boot for the price. And
yeah,
I mean, let's face it, their thing is marketing. They market better than anybody ever has.
Correct.
Yeah, marketing
Like
and
the
price
Maryland
point.
pronunciation.
What was that?
I said, is that the Maryland pronunciation?
But Tecavas?
Tecavas.
Tecavas.
How you say it in Spanish, bro?
Pecan versus pecan?
Hey, well,
Always thought it was
Lucas just said
Tacoma.
Pecos. That's Pecos, son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tecos, Chisos.
Not up in here in Michigan, it ain't.
I mean, hey, I have a degree in Spanish. Damn it.
Lucas has got some competition this time around.
Oh, hey, that's fine. I couldn't give two shits.
I spent the first 15 minutes going, hey, Angel, is there anything, Angel, that we can?
How do you feel?
I guess technically it could be on hell.
Hey, you know what? The first time I talked to him, of course, we were messaging through Facebook, but that was the first thing I asked him was, is it Angel or Angel?
Yeah.
He was like, well, depends on if you're talking to me or my family or something. Something along those lines.
I was actually, my family used to call me Angelito, which is little angel.
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody ever called me Angel when I grow up. Like my uncles, yeah, they still call me Angelito because I'm little angel. So.
Gotcha.
But even then, in English,
there's logic behind that. It's not, you're not pronunciating right. It's relatives can call you something different based on their history with you.
Yep.
I know that's a fact. I've been called all kind of things. And it wasn't Nathan.
Yeah. No, he usually starts with an M and ends with
Hey, do you guys have CJ asks, do you guys have a lizard skin recommendation? Like, what's your best lizard skin recommendation?
None of them.
None. Yeah, don't buy any.
I mean, honestly, I would probably recommend ringtail.
Yeah, if you get that other cut that doesn't have all those belly scales that'll tear apart. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't like the Teju lizard. I mean, I have them, but I prefer the ringtail just because it wears a lot better and it feels a lot better personally.
And Steve's got a good point with the hornback. A lot less likely to tear apart at the spines of the scales that kind of, but they're also tighter. I mean, they're very tight. If you've ever had a pair of hornback lizard, you almost need to go a half size bigger just because they have zero give and they are a thick skin.
Really?
Yeah.
So most other lizards, are you saying they tear easy and crack?
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it depends on the quality of the hide, because I've got a bunch of older Lucchese lizards.
They're real prone to splitting in between all these scales.
Sure, I believe you.
But Steve's right. You know, it depends on the quality of the hides, but it also depends on care. You know, Steve's not, you're not neglecting your boots, all that kind of stuff either.
Yeah.
You're not wearing them every day either, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that dust, if you let it settle on there, it'll just cut into each and every of those thin fibrous materials in the hide and it'll split right open. I think a lot of the people that have this opinion are people that have bought used boots, and 9 times out of 10, if you get some, but it's true with gator too. If it's not taken care of right around the toe crease, behind the toe box, you're going to find on the right side, it's going to start to split where you bend your foot when you move.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it. But almost.
Yeah, those I bought used to possibly flip. I got them for like $10. So I was like, what the hell? And I just haven't gotten around to cleaning them up real good and selling them. But
any reptile skin can split.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
I have not seen one that won't.
And part of the reason they make the reptile cleaner, if I can go off on a small tangent really fast, is because it's a foaming agent. So it gets in between all of those small fibers and pores, right? So you use the reptile cleaner, clean everything off, and it almost kind of gives you a static surface to deal with. And then you lotion with the conditioner, and that's really how you want to take care of reptile. Make sure that you're getting in all of those scale creases.
Are they pretty scuff resistant? How's the scuff resistance on like a lizard skin?
Decent.
It always depends on the color and it depends on the finish. I've seen, Lucchese, they tend to use a higher resin, like a thicker resin that will keep scuffs up. I mean, basically what happens, when you have that nice shine to a boot, it's an acrylic resin that goes over the top of the leather, right? And some boot companies use more or less of the resin. Mm-hmm. And so a scuff, generally, if it's a light colored boot and it's a low resin coat, it will scuff the surface of the hide much easier than it will than if you have something like a Lucchese that has a nice thick coat of resin. You still condition the leather, but you really want to focus on the quality. I think Steve said it earlier, is that generally what you pay for is the tan is better, the resin is better, the color density that they use in the dye is better. And that's what equals out to the cost a lot of times, as well as it being handmade. So light colors, though, I mean, I'll tell you, I was wearing these light Tecovas pecan ostrich today and pumping gas, and I'm holding the gas thing out like this, trying to pump it so I don't spill anything on the tip of my boots. And so you just got to be careful what materials. You don't want to get grease. You don't want to get you don't want to cook in them. Those kind of things, you want to keep away from your dress boots. If it's a pair of shit kickers, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about hides, alligator is a great example. They changed over the years the tanning and glazing process. Used to be all the alligator you got was glossy. Now they've got matte. In the matte tanning process, the hide seems much less prone to cracking and splitting than the older alligator or sea turtle also. Both of those was a drying out problem for the most part that caused them to split.
Yeah. And just naturally, sea turtle, you talk about that, 1960s, 1970s, that fibrous connection between the scales is going to wear down. It's designed to do that, except in nature, usually it's replaced through the cell regeneration. So, when you're wearing it as a boot, it's going to be something that's going to break down at some point, which is why, again, you get anteater, you get turtle, you're paying for something that has persisted for 30 years. I mean, it's a special deal.
Definitely.
For the most part, anteater is relatively robust. It's taken care of. I think it's, as far as its flexibility and its durability, is about on par with ostrich, at least in my opinion.
I agree.
I've seen some anteaters.
One thing I've noticed from, like heritage boots where you've got like Red Wing, you've got Westco, mostly I guess I'm comparing mostly to like American brands that do like lace up boots and some pull-ons. They say they put in their description, what tannery this leather comes from or this color comes from. You got like your Horween, you got your SB foot tannery, which is Red Wings. But most brands do, when they advertise their boot, they talk about what tannery they're from. Do you guys know what main tanneries do exotics at the very least? Because I know cowhide. I know
some of them.
Cowboy boots.
Probably the best provider of alligator hides out there is Mark Staten Company out of Louisiana, and many of my boots, that's where their hides came from, and they'll have the tags still on them from the tannery and the registration of the hides and stuff. I've had some boots made where I bought the hides independently of the maker. The maker agreed to make the boots the way I wanted.
Yeah.
And Angel, you point out something really important, is that you get outside of the exotic leathers and there's a lot less tanneries out there than there used to be. Obviously, Horween is the most famous tannery in the world. I mean, and they're one of the few factories that still produces shelled cordovan, which is a whole nother topic, but shelled cordovan, for what it's worth, makes easily as good a cowboy boot hide as it does a shoe, or like a Alden or Freiburg uses. Both of them use shell cordovan a lot.
Yeah.
Chinky is a tannery in Japan, and their name comes up a lot in non-cowboy boot tanneries.
Yeah. I got a pair from
There's
them.
only a few leather suppliers of exotic leathers out there, and you can get online and just Google ostrich hides and see which tanneries provide them. That's probably a hide that's easiest to find. The different tanneries one would be ostrich.
Yeah,
that's true.
Really fast, I'll say for snake, it's really important about the tannery, because the yellowing with snake after a certain period of time is incredibly bad. That goes for rattlesnake, python, if it's improperly tanned. Rattlesnake Diamonds does a lot of the rattlesnake boots, and they have a kind of like a particular style of tanning that's different, where it leaves it very kind of it's not rigid, it bends and moves with the foot a lot better, and it doesn't cause that yellowing. I've had mine for about 2.5, 3 years now, and not a spot of yellowing. But some of these vintage boots, you'll see the whole dang boot turns yellow. So it's a really important thing for skin, for snake hide.
Yeah, that's really what I was wondering about, was like you got your snake, your snake skin, and like we were just talking about your reptile hide. I would like to think that if you're choosing a boot, let alone a custom boot, that you might want to be able to ask, what tannery did this, ringtail come from? And is there, are there levels, how Steve was mentioning, like you got Horween, and then you've got Horween's one of the biggest American names. You got Wicked and Craig in America, and then you got Shinky, which is one of the most well-known, which is in Japan. And there's tons of brands, like we all know it down in Mexico. So I'm kind of wondering, like, you got Tecovas, which they share factories with other brands. I wonder what their situation is like. Do they have certain tanneries that they prefer to get from? Is that something they would even disclose with people if they ask? Like if you commented on the Tecovas Instagram, hey, what tannery is that that snakeskin from? I wonder if they would know, or if they would even disclose that.
I would bet that Tecovas has changed several times. I know they've changed factories several times, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If they find an issue or something they don't like, you can switch. But
right.
Availability is a big factor also, and it seems like there's seasons for all these hides, just like many other things that come from nature, where there's a season for it. I think there's definitely differences. Hides are graded also.
Yeah.
It just depends on what hide you're talking about, but I know that all alligator, Nile croc, caiman hides are grades like 1 through 5 or 6. And for example, I know for Tex Robin, who's made a lot of my boots, Kelly Leather Company is the guy he buys all his hides from. And you can see all the different kind of Nile hides that Kelly Leather Company handles. But I think the boot maker also has a lot of control on the hide and what grade it is. I know Tex, for example, is extremely picky, and you'll never have to worry about any of the hides on any style of leather he uses. I'm not saying you should pay more just for the sake of paying more for a boot, but I can say that if the price is too good to be true on a new boot, there's no way that they use the same everything as the guys that specialize in making the best of the best.
I'll add one comment to that just because it's something I've been wanting to put out there. So just so folks know, there's pretty easy tells with your difference between your alligator and your crocodile, right?
Sure.
So crocodile has iso hairs, right? So they test the difference in water pressure with these small hairs that come out of their scales. So during the tanning process, crocodile will actually have a small hole, like a little hole in each scale where that hair is removed during the tanning process. Also for head cut, alligator has 2 rows of 2 scales for a large head cut. Crocodile has 1 row of 4 and 1 row is 2. And then Cayman is a completely different story. It's kind of more calcified. It's pretty obvious to be able to tell the difference because the scales are a little bit less uniform in color. When you dye it, the calcium soaks up a lot of the dye, so you can see that. But I think, you know, when you're buying a boot, a lot of guys, and I'm telling you, I'm guilty of this as a seller. Sometimes you just want people to be able to find the listing, so you write alligator. So sometimes it's on the purchaser, you know, who does a little bit of their own study to be able to know the difference between the scales and the cut, you know, for each of those different animals. And they do make a difference. Nile crocodile, kind of the highest tier, right up there with American alligator, you know, and then croc, and then Cayman.
Yeah.
So you were saying that croc scales have like almost like pores where those hair follicles came out?
Yeah, it'll be a tiny.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be a tiny, especially in the belly scales, because that's where they actually use those hairs to sense the difference in water pressure when prey moves around them. Whereas alligators are almost entirely reliant on, you know, the heat signatures and things like that. Crocodiles have kind of an inborn hunting system, and that's removed during the tanning process. And it gives you these tiny little holes in that bottom scale. And what's interesting, Cayman, even though they seem like more similar to crocodile scales, just based on size, they're morphologically more similar to an alligator.
But their height is not, from a calcification standpoint, Cayman is not nearly as durable long term as Nile, croc, or alligator. Pricing on using Nile or American gator, pricing of the hides are close. Typically, Nile will be maybe 15-20% less per hide than an alligator. But a lot of that has to do with the large purse manufacturers like Gucci and all of them that buy up all the alligator hide.
Boy, and then you get those big gators. You get that giant gator scale. The premium right there. Those things are beautiful, though.
The giant gators, I would say, are more typically a wild caught gator versus the smaller tiled gator hides, or Nile, or even Cayman, are all farm raised.
Yeah. Yeah, and you only have a certain amount of those tags, so it's definitely at a premium.
All right, guys, I'm going to cut us off there. I need to announce or do the randomizer to announce the winner of the Voot Boot Shapers, and then we can pick this up next week. But let's go ahead and get that going. And I'm going to share my screen. Randomizer. Share. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got all the names listed here of the people that commented and followed all the rules. And I'm going to hit the randomize button one time, and the top 5 names will win a pair of Voot Boot Shapers. So here we go. Randomize. All right, let's see. So Diego Anthony, Jeremy Grundy, Donnie Bell, Steve Lawton, and Mark Dodson.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Steve Lawton. Let that guy in there.
Yeah.
Badass.
So what I need y'all to do is email me at lonestarboot@gmail.com and send me your address. And that way I can get it over to the people at Voot Boot Shapers and they will mail you out your pair.
Congratulations, guys.
For all you people in chat, I'd like you to drop a comment below. Let me know if you think we should stay with the name the Toe Bugs or if I should rename it the Techo Vase.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm getting a lot of shit for the accent.
The Techo Vase and the Caimans.
Listen, I'll tell you, I did. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I did log in and leave a comment as Steve Lawton. So if you want to send that directly over to me, it was a mistake.
I thought for sure you were pulling the name starting at the bottom, going up.
You know, we could
That's
change
what I
it to what my wife calls us, boot horse.
I'm good with that.
All right. Well, that concludes our broadcast day. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. And we will we'll catch y'all on the next one. Take it easy.
Good night.
Later.
All right.
That was fun.